Good day. This presentation shows how Nestle became successful because of its chosen market entry strategy to India. Business leaders must carefully choose a mode of entry that balances risk and control, enabling the company to succeed in the target market. A market entry mode is an institutional arrangement that makes possible the entry of a company's products, technology, human skills, management, or other resources into a foreign country. Typically, the modes of entry are grouped into the following: exporting strategies, contractual entry modes, and investment entry modes. Exporting strategies are the most well established form of entering foreign markets and exist when one country transfers goods it produced to another country. Exporting includes both direct and indirect transfers. Contractual entry modes, as their name suggests, are modes of entry where companies make contractual agreements with other firms to license, franchise, or sell their goods and/or services. Investment entry modes involve foreign companies purchasing a local company or creating alliances and ventures with existing local market players. Exporting is the oldest market entry strategy and is defined as the direct transfer of goods and services to a customer across national boundaries. Almost all consumer goods in the open market today are a configuration of components that were first exported. Companies typically select this mode of entry to benefit from the economies of scale and open up their product to global sales. A physical presence abroad is not required when exporting. However, the potential lack of control can be a significant disadvantage. When exporting, a company usually deals with a foreign agent and there is no guarantee that the agent will perform in the best interest of the company. Other challenges include tariff barriers and strict regulations imposed by regulatory authorities. An emerging superpower out of the countries identified in the BRICS bloc, the most promising is perhaps the world's largest democracy with 1.25 people is India. Located in the heart of South Asia, India has become a target country for the strategies of many multinational businesses. With its diverse economy spanning a variety of industries, India is thought to be the next superpower, both geographically and economically. Geographically, the country is strategically positioned to balance the power of China and provide stability to the region. India is also focused on strengthening diplomacy and trade ties with multiple countries including Russia, Japan, and the US. Economically, India accounts for 2.83% of the world economy and continues to grow at record rates. In 2015, India's economy grew by 7.6%, the fastest among any other major nations. Services are the main source of economic growth, accounting for nearly two-thirds of India's output. However, the country is also home to modern agriculture, pharmaceuticals, textiles, handicrafts, and many other industries. Nestle's export strategy to India. Nestle is recognized as one of first food and beverage company to begin a relationship with India dating back to 1912. The company expanded its presence shortly after India's independence in 1947 at the request by the Indian government to develop the milk economy of Punjab. During this period, the economy's policy of Indian government favored local production and the growth of communities. In 1959, the trading company in New Delhi was promoted by Nestle Alimentana SA through the wholly owned subsidiary Nestle Holdings Limited. The company started with the manufacturing of milkmaid as its first manufacturing facility at Moga, Punjab, and established milk collection centers in the area. The company also began providing agricultural services with the purpose of educating, advising, and helping farmers increase efficiency and growth. Some examples of these initiatives include teaching new dairy farming methods, irrigation techniques, and scientific crop management practices. An increasing milk yield and growing confidence in the dairy business transformed the Moga community into a prosperous and vibrant milk district and eventually a thriving hub of industrial activity. Nestle continued to invest in India by establishing more factories in Koladi in 1967 and in 1989, as well as expanding existing factories to produce more milk. The company was not directly involved in the primary production of raw materials and other food ingredients. It rather sourced raw materials locally from producers or existing trade channels. Strong support from its parent company allowed the company to launch new products and expand into the chocolate, noodles, and cereal business. Changing its name in 1978, Nestle India Limited expanded quickly, focusing on building strong and well-differentiated brands like Maggi, Nescafe, Cerelac, Lactogen, Kit Kat, and Polo. 20 years later, in 1997, Nestle India Limited became one of the top players in the food and beverage industry and the largest producer of instant coffee with a market share of 49%. Today, Nestle India is one of the leading companies in the FMCG space and is also among the top wealth creators of India. The company is present across India with 8 manufacturing facilities and 4 branch offices, with a home office located in Gurgaon. The company ranks number 1 in dairy whitener, baby food, instant formula, instant noodles, sauce and pasta, coffee, wafers, and whites. In 2017, the company posted a total sales of 101,135 million rupees and a net profit of 10,225 million rupees. Nestle is focused on getting back to double-digit growth both in terms of top line and volumes. Nestle's success in India. Its initial success in India was a result of the economies of scale in its export strategy into the Indian market. The unmet demand for a condensed milk product was filled with Nestle's importing and selling of Anglo-Swiss condensed milk. As the company expanded with each new opening of its manufacturing facilities, it built strong relationships with suppliers and launched new products into the market. A shared value approach was taken to not only maximize shareholder value but also invest in local communities, nutrition, water, and rural development. A culture of innovation and renovation, continuous improvement, and a thrust on value for money and affordability have helped the company to focus on adding value for the consumers. The company's high ranking in multiple categories can be attributed to the company's efforts to better understand the changing preferences of the Indian consumer and meet those needs through its product offerings. The company prides itself in its R&D center in Gurgaon, India, tasked with developing products that are more relevant. Its experimental kitchen and sensory laboratory at the center supports all markets worldwide with new product development and manufacturing excellence for noodles, while also serving as center of expertise for local Indian cuisine. The company has also targeted specific areas such as railway platform, college canteens, and major events for consumption opportunities. The lifestyle of Indian consumers are rapidly changing, and the company has been keen on leveraging the vast consumer market. Despite its success, Nestle also encounters failure in India. After 106 years of experience in India, are not without a failure. One of the company's biggest failure was to seize control of Maggi crisis. In June of 2015, India's central food regulator announced a temporary ban on Maggi noodles, one of the company's staple products in India, after claiming that a package of noodles contained 7 times a permissible level of lead. Once an article was published by a local Indian newspaper and the FSSAI pronounced Maggi as unsafe and hazardous for human consumption. Consumers erupted in protest and on social media using the hashtag #MaggiBan. The company quickly found itself in a major crisis, losing at least $277 million in missed sales and having to execute a $70 million food recall. The company's market share went from 63% to 23% less than a year. The answer is still unknown as to whether the noodles contain lead, considering the equipment used in government labs is barely functional. However, regardless of who was right, the company failed in many ways to examine its social and political factors of the situation, as well as engage with consumers and journalists to give access to the true story. The company will be continually challenged in the future with immense competition among companies in the F&B space and raising prices of raw materials. In conclusion, the company's attitude of not being afraid to fail and embracing the failures of new product launches shows its resilience and mindset of paving the way for future growth. Nestle's ability to connect with the Indian taste and flavor by stepping up innovation in food nutrition, taste, and beverage will be a determining factor in the company's long-term success. The reference in making this presentation was taken from Gray Grayson, Win in India, an analysis of market entry strategy into India's food and beverage industry, and it's retrieved from UK Essays.